Whenever you're ready.
Hey St. Basil's, Father Ryan here with a little video about Lent. And I want to begin by letting you know why I don't like Lent, okay? I like Lent, don't get worried, okay? I think Lent itself, the church's goal and what the church's vision is, as usual, is beautiful. Lent is God's gift to us first, and then it's our gift back to Him, what we make of it. But I don't like Lent at the same time. Here's why. As a priest, I've known in my own struggles, and I've heard it in a lot of other people's heart. Lent becomes this great experience of look at our egos at work. Here's what I mean. I want to give you an example of 3 different people doing Lent, okay? We'll call it the first one kind of like, oh yeah, the oh yeah guy or the oh yeah girl. Like, it's Mardi Gras, and they're like, oh yeah, Lent starts tomorrow. And they're like, you know what, I've been wanting to give up potato chips, I'll do that for Lent. And they kind of pat themselves on the back like, hey, at least I remembered Lent this year. And it's like, well, Lent is really meaningless for that person. They decided they want to give up potato chips, just coincided with Lent. They either do or they don't. It's not a big deal to them either way. Second person, right? This is the person who struggles a lot with self-reliance and self-condemnation, right? They think, all right, this is the year, and they've listened to the podcast, they've read the books, they've heard all their other Catholic friends do things, and now they've got a list of all the prayers, all the fastings, all the almsgivings, and they're gonna make the greatest Lent ever, and they're doing a million things. Even the Desert Fathers wouldn't have anything on this person. And then 2 weeks in, it all crumbles because they got sick one day and all of a sudden they couldn't do any of the penances they wanted. And now they're full of self-condemnation. I'm the worst, I'm never enough. And then all that shame animates, they said, all right, I'm gonna do it all over again. And they try again. By the 4th week, they are exhausted. Once again, a lot of the ego. I'm gonna do this, I'm bad. Then the third person is the person who just is really disciplined. They know what they're going to do for Lent, and they're doing it. And they're doing great, and they say, you know what? Lent is the season of confession. They come into the confessional, and it's been 5 weeks since I watched TV, Father. And there's a sense in which they have all these badges of accomplishments that they're holding up to God and the church. Look at me. This is why I'm finally good and lovable. I've done all the things. In short, all of this is discipline for discipline's sake. In the Gospels, we have this amazing image of the Pharisees. They're, by every account, more moral, more religious, more disciplined than the apostles. And yet they miss Jesus. They're the most resistant and critical of Jesus, and Jesus has the harshest words for them. Meaning there's a way to be disciplined that keeps us away from Jesus. True discipline in our faith tradition, discipline helps disciples follow the person of Jesus. Discipline is always about making us better disciples of Jesus. So as we enter Lent, it's important we take some time and say, what things or what times in my day do I not have any relation or mindfulness or awareness of Jesus Himself? Where am I totally distracted? You know what, at the end of the day, I get that bag of chips and I do whatever I want and I watch TV. I scroll on my phone or my tablet for hours at night. When I drive to work, I listen to music or my favorite podcast. When I'm at work, when I'm talking to my kids, whatever it may be for you, there's chunks of time where we need to punctuate it with new practices this Lent so that Christ can be everywhere for us, so that He literally is above all things and in all things, as St. Paul says. And so that's where we get the notion of why I like Lent. Lent gives us the opportunity to pick up some new disciplines so that we can grow in our identity of being a disciple of Jesus Christ. I hope you have a beautiful Lent.